So I thought I'll do a very cool sit down video here and I will speak to you guys. And if you're seeing my face for the first time, hi, this is Prerna here. I'm actually a production lead, team lead, working in Ireland, and I've been here for almost 6 years. And I would definitely document my journey through this channel, but there are often a lot of questions that I get asked regarding why I chose Ireland, all the details, what I did here, how I came to Ireland, and all of the process. So I'll try to do it a video at a time, because like I wouldn't be able to combine all of this information in one single video. But what I'll do in this video is I'll talk about the major pointers of how I made that choice, when did I come to Ireland, and how it has been so far for me throughout this journey. Now, bearing in mind, I did my bachelor's in computer science engineering back in India, and I also started working with one of the biggest service-based industries at the time, and the way it generally happens is that a lot of people would start working for a couple of years, and then they would decide if they want to move abroad, how they would make that choice and all of that. So for me, I think I was very clear right from the start that I had to move abroad, basically to get an exposure, to come out of my shell, because I've been in the same city almost for more than 20 years, and I wanted something that would definitely give me a lot more visibility and exposure when it comes to like that experience of living abroad. And that was definitely my plan. However, I wasn't very sure of when I would make that happen. So while I was working, I realized a few things that for me were very important, and I also realized working wise as well that I don't really hate the fact that back in India we had to work a lot, or definitely the time that you had to spend. Like a lot of people complained regarding that, but I had no issues regarding that. I was flexible in working at any day, or any time of the day, and any day possible. But for me, what's more important was I wasn't seeing a really big growth with the amount of work that I was handling and with the amount of work I was doing. So for me, it is important that I should get also the same acknowledgement while I'm working and handling so many different things. And which wasn't the case, and hence I felt like even if I keep working in the same area for the same amount of time, I wouldn't like get a lot of good opportunities that my colleagues were getting elsewhere, because just because of the experience level. So that also was disheartening at times, because no matter how much you worked hard, it still didn't reflect a lot on your portfolio, which was one of the reasons why I made that decision. Now, since I had a very less experience under my belt, I couldn't get directly approached by companies abroad to get a job, because that's one thing here in Ireland or anywhere in Europe or US or Canada. They definitely look a lot on your background and your experience, so they wouldn't be calling in like freshers, or even if they do call freshers or engineers who have very less experience, that's only possible when you get recruited by bigger names like Google, Facebook, Amazon, and which is very rare in most situations, because the process is very rigorous, and the amount of candidates that they go through to select that few people to join them is like very hard. I didn't have that time, I didn't have that energy to spend, and being a girl, there's often like a lot of restraints in place, which if you're not succeeding, then definitely that puts a lot of pressure on your head, that you need to make things work as fast as you can. And for me, the only obvious way I could make it through was doing my master's abroad. This would make sure that I have enough educational requirements and also it would give me a flavor of how it feels like to be abroad. And if something doesn't feel right, then I can always have the option of coming back. So that was my reasoning behind all of this. I definitely didn't want to pressure my parents quite a bit regarding the education fees and the accommodation expenses and all of that. So I probably decided a few areas where education would be easily accessible, and also the expenses would be quite less. And fortunately for me, I came across a counselor who was dealing with a lot of colleges abroad. Her specialty was in Europe, and therefore she connected with me, and we went through a lot of rigorous process of shortlisting countries and colleges. And for her also, it was important that she understood my condition, my circumstances, and therefore we did apply for a lot of scholarships when we were applying. And when I was applying, I think I did apply to Ireland, UK, likewise. And I came across University of Limerick that shortlisted me for a scholarship program. I had an interview with the dean of the college, and it went well. I was granted the scholarship. It was a very hefty scholarship, so that reduced the education fee to a very considerable amount, and that made me very, very solid on taking that up and taking that opportunity up of traveling to Ireland. Now I started planning everything because I knew it was a different country altogether. The weather, the conditions are all very different to what I'm used to. So I was preparing myself to go through everything. And I was also looking through the course that I was going through, and what are the subjects, what are the curriculum requirements, and all of that. So I was aware of what I'll be thrown into, and just mentally prepared to make sure that I don't get scared when I reach Ireland, and I have a bit of like knowledge about everything. So I came there. Obviously you can't prepare yourself too much to the unknown, which was going to be a lot of changes from my present condition. But over the years it became easier, and I'll also be able to tell you what I did after doing my master's. So obviously there was a problem with weather, because I was very used to the hot and humid weather in India, but here you just get a few days of sunshine, and it's very rainy, and it's very chilly on certain days. So definitely this gloomy weather is something that puts you in a very different mood. um, and you need a lot of motivation, and you need to keep yourself up to face all of the challenges. The other thing also is that we are taught, or how we are how our education pattern is a little bit different how it is here in Ireland. Like a lot of things are made to be taught to us in a different way. Here it is all on your own, and especially in masters they don't give you a lot of like self starters, or give you like this needs to be done there, here, and they just like leave you, and you have to like then get done with your work assignments, try to understand what's happening in the course. They will give you some pointers, but a lot of it depends on you, how you take and grasp everything together, especially the projects, because they just leave off the um, different students to work and create their own ideas, come up with their own ideas, and how to work with different projects, and basically assess you on those bases. So for me, I think the course and especially the projects weren't that tricky, because I came from a very solid coding background. As I told you before, I did my bachelor's in computer science, so I was very comfortable with a lot of the curriculum. But on the same hand, there were a few candidates who were coming from a very different bachelor background. Some of them had done their engineering in electronics and communication, weren't that thorough with coding and programming, so they had a lot of challenges. But I don't believe that everyone succeeded at the end, so it was good. um, the only thing I feel like, which was definitely something that I wasn't aware of, was the huge competition you feel, because a lot of candidates who are doing your masters here are coming from a very solid experience. So even though they were struggling in their masters, they had a very good experience, up to like 10 years, 12 years. And the moment they were done with their masters, they got jobs straight away. And even if they got their jobs, like within like 2 or 3 months of working there, they were able to get a promotion, get a hike, or get a better position. But it's not the case with some of the people who were either freshers or had no experience, because they had to join the grad roles, and it takes a while for you to adapt to the grad roles and start working, and then come to a level of position which will give you a higher salary. So that was one thing that I wasn't aware of, and I learned while I was here. Also, my experience wasn't that great. I had only 1 years of experience. So although, even though I was like acing my master's course, and I did get a lot of good grades, and I was very good with programming, I still had to start off with a junior role, and then progressively I went higher. So this is one thing that I would definitely keep in mind now when I'm talking to people and I'm sharing this information, that always come here with a wealth of skills and experience. So it becomes easier. It's not just about your masters, but also the path forward. So yeah, it definitely helps if you have a lot of experience, and if you don't, then definitely take up internships. Definitely work with a lot of people, because that helps to build your confidence. Another thing that I definitely would say is that confidence is something you cannot learn immediately. Is something that you need to pick up while you're working, and there were a few candidates who were lacking in experience and confidence, and took a very long time for them to overcome them. So yeah, I think that's more or less a lot of information packed in this one single video. I'll be coming up with more videos like this, so do comment below what you like to hear from me regarding my experience here in Ireland, and if there is anything that I need to cover, do let me know that as well in the comments below. I'll tell you this much, but we'll have more such videos where we cover all of this. And thanks for bearing with me, and do subscribe for all of these tips and information about Ireland.